Ronald Coase lived 37,504 days on this planet, and he lived them splendidly. During some of those days, he wrote 2 of the most widely cited articles in the social sciences and more than 100 other scientific papers and books. He pioneered the field of law and economics. He edited the Journal of Law and Economics, building it to have enormous impact. He won the Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences.
It was my great fortune to walk into Professor Coase's life. I felt like a lucky pebble accidentally dropped on the foothill of Mountain Tai. Couldn't help but overhear the conversation between Mountain Tai and nature, and occasionally joined the conversation.
He spoke and wrote the way poets and mathematicians, the best of them, do. In a few words, capturing a realm of ideas or turning something on its head. His wit was disarming.
Ronald was not moved by status symbols. Let me give you an example. On the 14th of October, 1991, many economists were up early. What were they up early for? That was the morning the Nobel Prize called about the winner for the economic prize. They called Ronald Coase in the south of France, and no one answered. The announcement was made to the world. Then several days went by, and still no contact. What had happened? Ronald and Marion had decided to travel to Tunisia for a vacation in October that year. They told no one about this except the concierge in their condo in the south of France. Now, Ronald knew he was on the short list for the Nobel Prize for several years, but obviously had not given any thought to that prize. Finally, after several days, an AP reporter went to the condo, talked to the concierge, and the concierge says they'd gone to Tunisia, but I don't know where. So the enterprising reporter started calling every hotel in Tunisia, asking for Coase. Finally, he got the right hotel and got Ronald on the phone. At that time, Marion was with him, and Marion looked at Ronald and she said the following: "Ronald, you look like you have just won the Nobel Prize." To which he said, "I have."
He firmly believed that economics will change. He often referred to a comment made by Edwin Kennan, the teacher of his own teacher, Arnold Plant. Quote, "However lucky error may be for a time, truth keeps the book and wins in the long run." I once asked Professor Coase why he remained so confident in truth's ultimate triumph. He looked at me and said quietly in his soft-spoken voice, "Well, all error must have its weakness."
And it begins with a letter from Ronald Coase. Actually, many of my colleagues and students organized a 70th birthday party for me in the year 2002. Coase did not attend that party, but he sent me a letter on October 23rd that reads in part as follows: "Oliver, all economists who have an interest in transaction cost economics owe an immense debt to you. Indeed, transaction cost economics is, to a large extent, your creation. 70 is no age at which to stop this important work. I know that you won't. While I hope to benefit from some of the work that you will be doing in the next 30 years, most of that benefit will inevitably go to others. I envy them. With all good wishes, Ronald Coase." No question that Coase, both on his own and through his influence on others, will be with us forever. One of the ways that he will be remembered is that he shares credit so generously.
Late in life, he wanted to help new generations of students as he had been helped. During a cold, wintry week in the year 2000, Coase met with a few of us in a Chicago hotel room to found a new organization to work with young scholars worldwide. He permitted us to use his name for the Institute. He served as research advisor, and he donated much of his Nobel Prize money to provide fellowships for these young scholars.
Ronald Coase enjoyed talking with other economists, but he enjoyed more talking with young scholars. He always made inquiries about how they were doing, about their research. He was very proud of the fact that we have scholars from the Institute from 69 countries now. He saw in them as the hope for the future. He did so until his very last days. Ronald Coase's model lifts us all. A seeker of truth rather than a supporter of some position. An optimist who changed our view of the world. A man who made magic. Thank you, Ronald, for all you have done.
So the question is, if you had to give advice to a young economist aged 21 in the year 2001, what would you tell him to look at and why?
I would say just look around and find a problem, and then try and tackle it.